Hey, it's Jen Thone with your color style, and this is the place to be to reinvent yourself with color. So, a week or so ago now, my daughter finally got her permit for driving. This is a fourth time. She failed her first three times. Oh my gosh, it's not that she didn't know it. It's just the way that they ask the questions sometimes, I guess, can be very confusing. But, we had a lot of tears and DMV on the third time when she failed. And it meant that I had to go put her into a remediation course for 8 hours. But we went back, and the fourth time was a charm, and she got her driver's license. So, what does that mean? Oh my gosh, what that means is that now I have to take her driving. And it's not easy. I don't know if you've been through this yet or not, but I can tell you as a parent in the passenger seat, having very little control over your driver, oh my gosh, it is really nerve-wracking. And to be fair, to be very, very fair, as a new driver, having never been behind the wheel of a car before, she's doing okay. But we've got the typical hit the brakes and ooh, drive really slow. And then right when I think we're going to have a nice smooth brake, we go through it again. And oh my gosh. And, she's driving, after about the day 3 or so, I decided to take her out just a little bit past the neighborhood out onto the road that is 45 miles per hour, which for her is like flying, like really, really good. Good. She's going really fast. And for me too, because, oh my God. And, so I took her out and the thing is that what does a new driver do? They focus on like the speed, right? So she's literally driving and she's drifting. We're drifting like almost over to the curb, and I'm like, Mindy, back over. And she's like, but and she's focusing on the speed limit, not even like looking at the road. And she's keeps kind of drifting. I keep resetting her, and then we're coming up on a traffic light, and I'm like, okay, brake, slow down, and we did not get in an accident that day, but, every time I freak out, it would freak her out. And I mean, by the time we were done, I mean, we were just hating each other, and she's stressed out and I'm stressed out. I mean, literally, like my arm and shoulder from holding on the door was so cramped up because it is just so stressful. And my stress is feeding into her stress and back. I'm going to probably hire a professional driver to get her over the new driver hump because I don't want her hating me after this experience. So, anyways, what does this have to do with color? Honestly, everything. Color is energy. Color has a vibration and an intensity about it. And when you wear that color, and the amount of color is going to project a certain amount of intensity and energy. So let me give you some examples. Let's say that you see a person walk into the room that is wearing bright red. Now, we're not going to talk about whether or not the color is right for you or not. Okay, at least just not yet. And maybe not in this particular episode because I don't want to get caught up in that. I want to talk about just the levels of energy and what you're doing with that communication. Okay, so a woman walks into a room and she's wearing a bright red dress. Now, we'll just assume she looks great. But you make some assumptions about that person right away, right? You assume that she's bold. You assume she's outgoing. You assume that she's fun because she's wearing this bright color. It has a lot of energy. She's in a way almost loud compared to maybe the rest of the room. Now, if you're going to a place where everyone's wearing bright colors, she might just blend right in and it may not be a big deal. But if you come into a room where everyone's wearing, say, black cocktail dresses and she's wearing red, she may look amazing, but she's going to definitely be the center of attention. She's going to be a louder presence in the room, even if she never speaks. Okay? And reciprocity is our human nature. You see something like that with full energy, you will reciprocate in the same way. You will either talk to that person differently, you'll make assumptions about that person, okay? And she might even get more attention for it, right? Energy out, energy back in. The same is true if someone were to walk into a room wearing a very soft, quiet pink, something like that. Again, you're making assumptions about that person. She might be shy, she's quiet, she's soft-spoken, she's mousy. It may not be true at all, but that's what you're doing. In fact, she may not necessarily be the center of attention. She may kind of blend in with the rest of the group. Maybe that's what she wanted. I don't know, right? So these are things to consider when you are choosing a color. Now, in most cases, it's just how you feel. It's what you want to wear. It's great. But if you've got specific scenarios and events in your life, like a party, or you're presenting on stage, or you're at a business meeting, consider that level of intensity and what you're trying to communicate, okay? And we're just talking about intensity right now, how strong a color or how soft a color. There's a reason, for example, that I wear like royal blues and bright red pinks and watermelons on camera. There's fuzz there. Is because I want, I am the center of the focus in this video. I want to stand out. I want it to be bright and open and energizing. I wouldn't wear soft grays on camera. And if you notice, if you ever see TV announcers, right, or newscasters on on TV, morning shows especially, they're wearing bright colors. There's a reason for that. They're not going to wear soft muted grays and that kind of a thing because they'll just get washed out by the lights. So I hope that helps. When you're thinking about that intensity of what you're going to wear, think about the message that you're sending and if it's appropriate for what you're trying to do. Now, there is something else also, and that is how bright you should go. Now, I can do an entire video just on that, but I will just say a couple things before I end this episode. Depending on your own natural intensity, okay, a super, super intense color may be perfect on you or it may overwhelm you, and vice versa, okay? So if you have super intense color, super intense bright hair and bright eyes or deep, and you're wearing something that's very soft and muted, the balance is off and you're going to look tired and drained. So there's always this game of balance of when there's enough energy or not enough, and how to kind of raise that up a little bit so that you're in harmony with yourself. And the same is true for someone who's very soft. Soft hair, soft eyes, just an overall general softness to you, and you're wearing a super bright color, again, that balance and energy is off, and that color is going to literally vibrate off of you. And you might want to take that intensity down a bit. Okay. Again, you have almost like reciprocity with yourself in a way. You want to balance with yourself naturally and your own personal energy level, as well as the energy level within your space and in your environment, and how you can balance that as well. So I hope that helps. If you like this type of content, please subscribe. If you're listening to this out on a podcast or watch it out on YouTube, please visit the blog at yourcolorstyle.com. There's tons of information out there on how to wear colors and also how to figure out what your best color is. Thanks for watching. I'm Jen Thoden.